live? Maybe. Rob Bob, what's going on, guys? We got Rhymestyle back on the podcast, Cards and Zards. What's going on, Rhyme? Glad to have you back here hanging out with us, with me, the Rob Mob.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, dude. No worries, dude. I mean, I'm happy to have you here. I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about with you with. And I think it's going to be a fun PokeCast. There's been a lot of stuff just going on in the Pokemon community.
a lot.
And I think it should be talked about, you know? I mean, it's just been insane in the brain right now with the vintage stuff, even the modern stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, slabs, first edition Charizards, base set boxes. I mean, you name it, it's basically happened like in the last month. It's spread like wildfire.
And the crazy part is how much faster it rises, like the next day, like the next week, and even the next day.
Yeah.
Like I literally just got an email about an hour ago that was like, I got this card. It's worth $2,000. Should I sell it? I'm like, well, I would say if you want to, but a month from now it could be $3,000. A year from now that could be 10. Like, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, easy. I mean, I was talking to my buddy Izzy about a month ago. We were going over some unlimited base set Charizards, and it just came like, you know, a roundabout topic. It was just late at night. We were both editing, just kind of, you know, shooting some Pokemon talk. And we were talking about base set Charizards, like creeping that like $1,500 to $2,000 mark at a PSA 9, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking, not even a month later when me and him had that conversation, we were creeping on price on eBay. We're talking $6,000 at one point for a 9 base set unlimited Charizard.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? We're talking, I can't even do the numbers right now. Just from that 2,000 mark, almost a 200% increase.
What's crazy to me is I have a lot of friends that were kind of into Pokemon, but not really, who were hitting me up in the past like week, like, hey, I just bid on this. And I'm like, I mean, you made fun of me for this like a month ago. What happened? Like, I think what it is a lot of people are seeing the actual rise now, especially with all the big news that happened in the last couple of weeks. And they're like, you know what? Let's just do it. Like, because it's not a bad investment. If you want to look at Pokemon solely from like an investment perspective, then sure, go for it. But you're not gonna like really lose money. And even if there's a crash, I think I said this last time we did this.
Yeah.
Even if we ever get a crash or like a decline, month from that or a year from now, at that point, it's still gonna be back to more than what you paid. Yeah. It's smart.
Yeah, 100% smart. And speaking of like last time that you were on, we had you on what, like 2 months ago? I think it was about 2 months ago I had you on the podcast. And like we were talking numbers, and we were kind of already mind blown at what was going on. I mean, I think if we brought up what would have happened like today, what's going on this week and the last 2 weeks, I think we would have laughed about it, right? And said that that'd be insane. And like that's really reality right now. It makes no sense. I mean, the price increase has just gone through the roof. And
I think what blows my mind the most is base set is catching up.
Yeah.
Because honestly, for the longest, I used to always wonder, like, why was base set not where was that? I mean, obviously you got Shadowless, you got first edition, but the fact that boxes existed that were above base set always kind of confused me. I'm like, why is base set like a $5,000 box?
Yeah.
And then you got, you know, like the E series cards, you got even EX series boxes that are more, and that was confused me. So I'm actually happy that unlimited boxes are finally caught up to where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I saw a tweet the other day that was like, I hate that these cards are getting overvalued. I was like, no, they're getting to the point where they're supposed to be. This is where they're supposed to be as far as value.
Yeah.
It sucks because, like, you know, some people now going to be like, well, now I can never get it. But like, if you look at like the history behind it, it makes sense. Like, this is where, number one, it was going, and two, where it should have been from the start.
Yeah. Yeah, hands down, it should have definitely been like that a while back ago. I'm surprised it's just now catching up. I mean, there has been a huge influence here with base set product here with a lot of guys that I'm sure we'll bring up here a little bit later. But yeah, the influence has been real. But I want to see your logic on: do you think it's acceptable for, like, let's say a unlimited base set Charizard at a PSA 10 to be equal value of a base set booster box sealed? Do you think that's going to be like a gold standard now? Because we're seeing it with the first edition boxes, right?
I mean, let's be real. Yes, I think it should. The chase card in base set is Charizard.
Yeah.
And if you get a box, you're not going to get it. First of all, there's not a chance you're going to get a Charizard. I watched Logic open a box on camera about 2 weeks ago, and he didn't pull a Charizard in that box. It had a Blastoise, a Venusaur, and then a bunch of like Ninetales and stuff. That was a bad box. Yeah. But it made up for it because he opened a second box shortly after that, and he pulled 3 Charizards back to back in front of my face. 1, 2, 3, back to back. I'm not even kidding. And then he pulled the Blastoise and the Venusaur as well later in the box. So that was crazy.
Yeah.
And by the way, those Charizards all look really good. They had centering that was on point. I think one of the three had like one print line, so two of them have a good chance to be a PSA 10. The other one is like whatever. So, like the thing that people gotta understand is when you open a box and you open a pack and you pull a holo, it's not a 10 out the pack. Like, it could even be an 8. So with Charizard being the big chase card, the most iconic card in Pokemon, I think it should be the same price because that's in the end of the day, that's what you want. Yeah. No one's opening first at base packs right now because they want to pull a Magneton or Chansey. You're risking the 20 grand because you want to pull the Charizard.
Yeah, you're not lying. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Where do you think the gap though should be between a 9 and a 10 Charizard from base set? I mean, do you think that what we're seeing, base set Charizard has dropped down?
Fair. I think what we're seeing right now is fair. So it's funny. A year ago. So this is so weird to say. A year ago, when you would grade a card and you would get back 9s and 8s, you would look at it and be like, "Ugh, like I want a 10." You know, as a collector, you always want to get the best grade possible. So what people used to always just do is they would just either sell off the lower grades or try to resubmit to see if they can get that 10 if the card was flawless to them. Which sometimes if you do that, it does come back as a 10. But like no one really cared about 9s a year ago, but now everybody does. And people care about 8s, people care about 7s, and based on what card it is, people even care about lower grades like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
But like the thing is when you look at the gap, 10s are so limited. I think for unlimited Charizard, there's a lot more. It's like 600 or something like that. But for first ed, there's like 120. For Shadowless, there's like 50. Like it should be like super premium as it is because only so many exist. I have one of four Typhlosions as a 10. And like no one when something is like low pop is like the coolest thing for a collector.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, hands down. That's the biggest
thing.
The
ones that are gonna want it is like it doesn't matter how much money you have. If the 4 people that have the Typhlosion don't sell, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get it. You can try to pull for it, but you might get print lines, you might get centering issues. If it like Pop Report to me, I feel like is severely underrated right now because like people don't really realize, especially new ones coming to the hobby, they don't realize like how little of these cards exist in perfect 10 grades.
Yeah, no, that's a huge deal. I mean, you know, not to bring up a modern set while we're talking about base, but I mean we're seeing that in evolutions kind of right because that Pop Report for the holographic Charizard at a PSA 10 is ridiculously low because that print quality was just absolutely bad. So I mean, Pop Report's a big deal to have.
Let me just flex real fast. I was the second person to get a 10 for Evolution Charizard.
What? How long did you send it in?
That was like the first week.
Oh wow!
I was the first one. Like I was the second one because I remember there's a lot of people on YouTube who were chasing to get that 10. They were all submitting it, and I remember I think I sent in like 9 or so at the time because again they were only worth like $5. No one really cared for them.
Yeah.
And I got that one that came back as a 10. I remember I was so excited about that. I still have it. I'm never gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm glad you brought up Evolutions. Evolutions to me is interesting because the value for Evolutions is ridiculous, but it makes sense. So, like, apparently, again, I don't know if this sale actually went through, but according to what we saw on PWCC, 2 Charizards sold for like $6 grand at PSA 10. I mean, an Evolution 2016 Charizard.
Yeah.
Like, I think what it is people bought, like, people who can't, who get to the point where they don't think they can afford, you know, the original Charizard will move to the next best thing, which is the reprint. But, like, at that point, it's like, Rob, would you rather pay $6 grand for a PSA 10 Evolution Charizard, or would you rather pay $6 grand for a PSA 9 1999 Charizard?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not even a decision.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah. What is that breakdown?
No, I mean it's ridiculous. I cannot imagine. Like I said, we were just talking about PSA 9s going for $6 grand. Actually, the price has dropped in the reset. I don't know why it's dropped. I haven't really been paying attention to it, but the base set 1999 Unlimited Charizard has dropped to about $4,500, $5,000 since those $6,000 sales, and yeah, I'd rather have something from 1999 100% of the time. It's a no-brainer. So the fact that people are paying that much for the Evo.
I'm just happy that 9s are a bit more popular because I think one of the reasons why people look down upon 9s, you know, not really look down, but they desire 9s less is because, 9 is cool, but like if you ever want to resell, it's gonna be a lot harder to get rid of a 9.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I used to have so many PSA 9 first edition Lugias that I would just like get rid of. I would either hand them out to viewers, to friends, or when I would just have a couple of bulk ones, I would just send them off in my bulk to like Toronto, for example. And I would get like $150 to $200 for those cards like a year ago. And now there was a $50,000 sale this past week.
Yo, that's
either
wild.
way, the thing about nines is yeah, it's not perfect 10, but it's still mint.
Yeah.
Like nines look really, really good. And there's a chance. There's always that chance where you get that 1-9 where it's like it was misgraded. It could be potentially a 10, or you can even resubmit it to BGS to see if you can get that 9.5 or potentially a 10 through them.
Yeah.
Like nines are not to be like underrated.
Yeah, no, I agree. And on top of that, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, there's plenty of people that will buy 7s, 8s, and 9s, basically more or less on affordability, right? Because a lot of people are not going to be able to afford that 10 anymore. But I mean, there's plenty of 8 collectors that are just happy with the 8 because mainly they're collectors. They're not looking to flip this card in the market, right? They want it in their collection because they appreciate the card and what the card is, and they at least know that at an 8, even a 7, they're getting a really decent card. At a 9, they're getting, like you said, if a mint card. I mean, there's probably one little problem that didn't make it that 10 because we know 10 as being the perfect gold standard. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I have to grab
what are we bringing out?
So this shows you how I treated my 9 sometimes. I have a 1996 original Charizard that's been sitting basically in my background. I put this in the back because I didn't care for it. I think I pulled this and there was like a little thing on the side which caused it to get a 9. Mm-hmm. And I just left it over there. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not even going to bother selling because it's probably going to make like $50.
Yeah.
Have you seen the PSA 10s for these?
It's wild. It's wild. Yo,
but the things again, even like 9s, like they're still good. Like this is not beat up.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that like 9s and 8s and just lower grades in general have just gone up in popularity, like especially in Neo Genesis. Yeah. Neo Genesis you have to, because Neo Genesis most cards are so beat up right out the pack that like 10s are so like inaccessible.
Yeah, at all. Now that you brought that Charizard up, my card store had one a month ago. And I legitimately waffled about getting it. Not because that, I didn't want it. It's like, dang, well, I had to spend this, and that, for the channel and just to kind of, maintain it afloat. I was like, I don't know if I have, I think they were asking like $180 for it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it probably would have gotten an 8 or 9. It was in really good shape. And I'm like, dang, like, I don't know if I want to get that right now. Let me wait on it. It'll be there. It'll be there.
I used to buy them, I think a year ago for like 35 a pop.
Yeah.
Or a year and a half ago, I'm not really sure. Time kind of has been staying still for the past couple of months. So everything feels like it's been a lot, not that long ago. But I used to buy these and just see if I can get a 10, and I never did. I got a couple 9s. I get key phrase couple 9s. I have one left, and I wish I kept them all. I wish I kept all my regular Charizard 9s because also again, just like with the Lugia, I had so many, and I would just like I said, either give them out or resell them. And it's just crazy to see like how much stuff has changed.
I mean, it's not even changing. It's legitimately blowing the roof off of houses. With the amount that everybody's just been making. I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense right now because it just happened so fast. Like, I personally, I don't know about you, but I personally can't keep up with the market anymore. Like, I'm finding out information because I'm scrolling through a Twitter feed or an Instagram feed, and that's how I'm finding my stuff out just randomly because I can't really keep up with individual cards anymore. Everything is just moving fast. It's like the stock market, really, right? Like, you just really got to sit there, pay attention, and look at a freaking chart in order to find out what's up and down in hours time. It's crazy. Yep. It's crazy. I mentioned in an earlier video, and I think it might be true, and I want to see your opinion on it too. I think I did a video about this about a week ago, give or take. And I was talking about Team Rocket First Edition being kind of the next set to blow up. And that was my own personal opinion, just because you have First Edition Charizard in there. That is the second Charizard ever created by WotC, right? You got a First Edition Blastoise. I mean, you got a First Edition Dragonite. You got a lot of heavy hitters in there. What are your opinions on the First Edition Team Rocket? Do you think that's something that will potentially take off faster than we imagine based off what's happened with base sets so far?
I'm glad you asked that. I actually bought a box for $8,000 a month ago.
How long ago? A month ago. Wow. Yeah, it's like it's pushing 20 G's now.
Yeah. No, so the funny story with that is I always look at Team Rocket as that set that I just didn't understand why it was valued at what it was valued. Again, similar to what I was saying about base set earlier. Base set should be where it's at right now, back then.
Yeah.
Team Rocket is the box design is fantastic. You got a Charizard, you got a potential Error Dragonite inside there. The non-hollows are great too. You can get the non-hollow regular Dragonite and Charizard and Blastoise. There's a Charizard and Blastoise. It's a good set. The only thing that sucks about that set is the Weezings in the R-Box and the gold bats. No one really wants those.
The slow bro.
Which is it's kind of messed up because like in the first set scam box that was opened,
Yeah.
Of the only hollows that were in the box is the whoever the scammer was. They put in, which says a lot. They put in the a Golbat, and an Arbok from Team Rocket as hollows inside it. No one wants those cards. But outside of those, everything else is great. You know, the Charizard's great. The Blastoise is great. As you said, it's the second Charizard ever made. I was never a big fan of that Charizard when I was a kid, just because I never really liked the pose. But looking back at it now, it's like it's a fantastic pose. It's great art because it's like. It's Dark Charizard. It's supposed to be like all cocky and stuff. You just see him from his back. Like it's a good card. I think Team Rocket is going to get a lot larger. I mean, obviously it's going to get a lot larger, but I feel like it's going to start getting to the point where it will surpass Fossil and Jungle and stuff like that. Because the thing is, Fossil and Jungle were the second and third set, but there was, in my opinion, there's nothing great about those sets really. You know, Jungle, I don't understand the hype. You know, people want their common Pikachus. You got the evolutions. Yeah. And I guess a Snorlax and whatever else is in it that's got people really hype. Yeah. I never like Jungle. I thought Jungle was a bad set. Yeah. Fossil, you can kind of argue because Fossil, you had the 3 birds, you have Dragonite. But outside that, it's like, what else is great about Fossil?
Yep.
Team Rocket has Charizards, has Blastoise, has Dragonite. It's like the art's fantastic and introduced Dark Pokemon for the first time. Team Rocket is going to 100% surpass Fossil and Jungle if it hasn't already.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And I've said the same thing. We're almost word for word that you said. I don't think Jungle and Fossil really have those heavy hitters that people are looking for and can really relate to as a favorite Pokemon per se. Like you said, there's a Dragonite, there's the evolutions, but there's nothing really that stands out also. I mean, I see it the same way you do. Another thing about first edition Team Rocket that you didn't even mention, Raichu, Secret Rare. That's the first Secret Rare ever created by WotC. I mean, that alone is a big deal. I mean, we in modern day Pokemon right now drool over some of the secret rares we could find, right? Yeah. We're drooling over the cards that are not 1 through whatever, right? And they have the first ever secret rare Dark Raichu, and if you can get that at a mint 10, 9, I mean, it's a big deal. It's a huge card. It's a huge card. And you know what? I was looking through my first edition Team Rocket stuff, and my Dark Raichu has like a really fat bottom on it compared to the top. But I just looked at a PSA 10 on eBay, and it had a fat bottom too. So I don't know if that's a standard thing with Dark Raichu or if the centering should be equal. But I've noticed that the PSA 10s also have fat bottoms. Do you know anything about that?
It varies. You can always have centering issues and still somehow get a 10. Yeah. That's why sometimes people would prefer BGS because BGS is way more strict with that. But I personally don't know anything about it just being like a Raichu specific thing. I do remember the what was it? The Plasma Blast. Yeah, Plasma Blast Charizard, the secret rare one, the one with the gold borders. Those were awful with centering. Like that, it was top to bottom was always horrible. And I ended up getting a 10 when I finally found one that did not have centering issues. But like literally, I bought maybe like 20 of those cards over the course of the last like 5 years. Back when it was a lot cheaper, obviously. You know, now it's like $1,000 card, but back then it used to be like literally like a $20-$30 card. Yeah. It took me forever to find where the centering was just right, and that's the one I graded at 10.
Yeah. You know what? I also had another question too for you before I forget, because I know I'm gonna forget. With all these crazy price increases, before we get off the topic, what does your buying vintage packs look like in the last month? Are you still like on the same rate, or you're like, oh, dude, I gotta kick this back a little bit because I mean it's crazy, you know? I mean the increases are wild.
I did slow down, but then I started doing it again. I slowed down because early in the year I bought a lot of packs that I started sitting on. Yeah. And the reason why I started buying them again recently is because I know after this wave it's gonna be just untouchable. Yeah. Like I bought it on my homie Randolph is doing a box break on Saturday. Yeah. Tomorrow. I bought a pack because one, it'd be fun, and two, because I know like the next time a box break happens like that, it's gonna be like a $4,000-$5,000 pack probably. Yeah. But I also bought 3 packs with Charizard King recently from his box break. And I already had I want to say I have about 12 heavy packs left from my last batch. But I bought those now because I know it's going to be the same situation as it was with First Ed. Because I remember, 2 years ago, I bought a First Ed pack on Wade for $1,000. And then this past 2 months ago, I was trying to buy 2 heavy packs at $4,000, $5,000 each. And now it's like $20,000 just for an unweighed pack. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I kind of just pulled the trigger now because I know after this, it's just going to be in a ridiculous range. I didn't even plan to open it. I just wanted them.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. What's Randolph cracking?
Or he's doing a base box or something. He did jungle, I think, last week, and now he's doing base box.
Unlimited? Or I mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming unlimited. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I saw the jungle box that he cracked open. I was in there. He had a lot of viewers on there. He had a ton of people checking in for that box break. It was wild. I was like, dang, dude, like he's like 5 times what Rev really pulls in for a vintage box. That's nuts.
Yeah, he got a lot. He got a big kick from the Logan.
Yeah,
because he bought the
100%.
Logan pack.
I mean,
and then he got into the algorithm from that, and yeah, his channel has blown up a lot.
Dude, it's insane. I mean, he went from 0 to 100 in a snap of fingers. I remember when I first started YouTube, he was one of the first channels I found out about as well, and the blow up is real. But good for him, man. Well deserved. I mean, he knows his stuff too, and he's been collecting since. I mean, he's never stopped, really, right?
He's never stopped.
He's never stopped. I mean, I know he mentions his family a lot and how it was like Pokemon was a big thing in his family, and it never stopped, and that's awesome, man. I mean, it's well deserved for someone that's really been committed to it.
That's
since...
why I love it when we see like hardcore creators or hardcore fans of the hobby who become creators in our community, because like you can see it, you can see like that passion, and obviously you know with Pokemon blowing, there's been a lot of bad apples. I don't want to call them bad apples, but ones that you just kind of like you know. You get shifty eyed towards you know what I'm talking about. You know? And again, I'm not gonna judge people who enter the hobby because they want to make money. Go for it, make all the money you want. But I personally just don't associate with them. You know, if I see somebody that I'm like, you know, I'm like weary about, you stay over there, I'm gonna stay over here. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. But like, I also see a lot of people who get very, very like upset about it, and I get it. I understand it, because you know, like if someone is entering your fandom and they just are trying to basically profit off your fandom, it's not a good look. But at the same time, I feel like they give these people attention. Like the more you talk about them, the more you bring, you know, spotlight to their names and you talk about X, Y, and Z, the bigger they get. That's why I'm always like, you know, if you see something you don't like, just ignore it, because it's the best way to just like, you know, to not give them the spotlight they're looking for.
I can agree with you with that, but you know, on top of that too, I think a lot of people are getting upset as well with some of the stuff that's going on, because, I mean, you know, I've said it before, there's only about a 10% population in the Pokemon community that can actually afford the prices that we're seeing at today. You know, a lot of people that are getting upset is because they can't afford it anymore, and they would love to have that feeling, or they were buying and being happy in the community, and still buying vintage pack and still being able to open it because it was kind of affordable. Now it's completely out of everybody's price range, except for a small population in the Pokemon community. And when those people are coming out and just making it even a bigger deal than it should be, and raising the price, it just upsets some of the people. And I mean, I can see that too. I can see both sides of it.
Like to me, the way I see it is I don't think those people specifically are the reason why stuff blew up. The thing you gotta realize is Pokemon has been rising in prices for the last like 20 years. Like because somebody hops on a live stream and they say a Bulbasaur is 30 grand, it's not the reason why the price went up. Like that Bulbasaur was already selling for like 3 grand as a PSA 10. Like all you got out of that was a joke. Like, are you serious? Like that's all we got about it. But the thing is like is the more people that enter the hobby, the more the prices will rise, because the more people want it. It has nothing to do with the ones who are popping in there and like, well, I see, actually, you know, I take that back, because sometimes you get people who literally will just shill stuff and have literally their friends probably buy something at a high price so they can actually sell it for that price later. Like that stuff does exist. But like to control that, the only way to deal with it is to see multiple sales. Now, if something sells, like let's say someone shills something at like, I don't know, 10 grand, and the next couple cards all sell a grand, like that tells you something. But for some reason, the next couple all sell 10 grand each, that tells you that there's people out there who are willing to pay for it. So technically the value is there. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like a gray area, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I know, it makes perfect sense. And I mean, it's really what happened with the recent box breaks that we've been seeing. It really brought in people into the community that forgot about Pokemon, that got back into Pokemon now because they see, you know, all the hype around it, and have money to spend, which is why it's getting more expensive, because they have the capital to spend this, you know, and which is why the prices are driving up. And I mean, it's a great thing for Pokemon too. It's not a bad thing, guys. Like, anybody that's in the chat right now or gonna watch this later, like, it's not a terrible thing, because Pokemon is honestly just getting more and more notoriety, and it's really kind of exciting too. I mean, like we talked about earlier, the prices should have been kind of where they're at now with some of the basic stuff, and it should have been there already, but Pokemon just kind of felt like, you know, they had that dip and started making a rise, but it should have been like this kind of a long time ago. Now people are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and are realizing these cards should be treated the way they're being treated right now.
That's why I bought those packs in the last like week, because I knew again, it's like not everybody's in that same position where they can just like dump a bunch of money on. Like I was looking at my bank account thinking like, do I really want to do this? Because I know I'm gonna regret it later. I mean, one of the biggest regrets is a year and a half ago, somebody was trying to sell me an EX Dragon Frontiers box for $4,000. And at the time, that was a good price, you know. I ended up pulling out only for the reason because I did not really know the seller. I mean, some people told me they dealt with them and he was legit, but someone told me just not to do it. And he actually ended up being legit. But again, I just followed my gut because I didn't want to spend $4,000 and then get you know, a dud. Now that box is like $20,000 plus. Like the thing I always knew about Pokemon is if I don't get it now, I can't get it later. So that's why when something blows up later, I'm not gonna be like shocked about like, oh, I can't believe it. Like it's kind of my fault. Like I should have bought it. Like actually, I posted on my Twitter. I just bought a. I'm gonna show you actually. I just bought a box that I feel like it's not really desired right now, but I know it's going to be because this is a classic. I just got me one of these.
Ooh, there you go. Some Heart Gold Soul Silver. That's nice, dude. I mean, you talked about this set last time we did the PokeCast. You love that set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I showed you this. Last time I bought this box for, at the time it was $200. This is the Spanish version, which features Lugia art.
Yeah.
And it's funny, after I don't know if that was after that podcast or if I talked about the video, but people realized that the Lugia art box existed and they all bought them off on eBay and now they're like $1,000 a piece. It's crazy. But like Heart Gold Soul Silver is a funny set to me because there's nothing really super crazy value about it, but the price is ridiculous. Yeah. Like the best card you can get is you got the Ho-Oh and Lugia Legends cards, which I don't know how much like they're guaranteed per box or how it works out. And then you got the Prime cards, which again nobody cares about. Yeah. Like about 3 weeks ago, I bought a PSA 10 Prime Typhlosion that the seller ended up canceling because he had just sold it to somebody locally and for less than what he listed because I guess he listed it a couple days ago and forgot about it and then sold it and then didn't take the listing down, which sucks. I won that bidding at $500 and he said he sold it for less. Nobody cares about Prime cards. So I'm like, why is this a $6,000 box? I actually got a good deal. The seller reached out to me and they were like, we'll just do $4,500 and I'm like, done. I didn't want to spend that much, but like again, I know if I don't get it now, I'm gonna regret it because I remember Rev found a case of these about 2 months ago, and I remember he hit me up and he was like, "If you want one, I can sell it to you for like $2,000 or something." And I was like, "Yeah, I really don't feel like spending that much for a set that I feel like is not that valuable, desired." And literally, the price has doubled since then. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting this now because I know the next time this box pops up, it's probably gonna be like $10,000. Yeah. And I don't know why because there's nothing that's like crazy about the box itself. Like, I mean, I will say, you know, a lot of mid-era Pokemon sets have very, very low pop. I think the Typhlosion and the Feraligatr are like pop 10 or something ridiculous like that. And then, you know, you got the Lugia and the Ho as well, who are super low pop as well. I think the Lugia is like pop, like, you know, I'm going to look it up because I'm curious. But like stuff like that, I feel like it's people don't think about because we were so busy focused on Watsy. And then you got a couple of EX series sets after that. And then no one's looking at the mid stuff. Like, Dragon's Exalted, it's got that ridiculous Rayquaza at the secret rare. You got Call Legends, which has all those shinies. There's so many sets that came out after the EX series and Watsy era that people are just sleeping on. And I feel like when they realize they exist, the prices are going to go through the roof. And even those boxes, even though they are a lot older or they're not as old as like the Watsy era stuff, they don't exist as much. Because like if you look on eBay right now, unless it's people who are just like sitting on cases and cases and cases and they're not selling it, they're not just popping up every day.
Yeah, no. I mean, and you say that it doesn't make sense, but it kind of does make sense. I mean, you kind of answered it there with the mid-tiered stuff, right? With the middle of the run Pokemon product, aside from the Watsy. People are getting out of Watsy because they really can't afford it. So they're looking for the next best thing, which is the Heart Soul Silver, the Call Legends that you're talking about, right? Like, that's going to be the next best thing when that stuff really just becomes high-end product and it's only available to people with a huge capital of money that can actually hold on to that product and keep it in their collections. People are trying to find the next best thing, and that's why these prices are going to start slowly moving up and up and up until those become super expensive and profitable for somebody. On top of that, too, I mean, it kind of raises the question is, when is this all going to kind of stop, right? I mean, it's just like, I guess it would have to essentially leave the vintage and finally move on to the modern where all the vintage is pretty much unattainable for a decent price to where people can afford it anymore.
Just to bring it up, I am looking at the pop report right now. There's only 9 Lugia PSA 10s for the legend card for the bottom half, the good half. And then for Ho-Oh, there's about 27 and 26 for both parts for Ho-Oh. And yeah, look at it. There's 14 Typhlosions, 9 Negations, 11 for Alligators. Nobody was grading these cards.
Yeah.
Nobody was grading them.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying, also, like, if you wanna get an affordable choice, because people always ask me, like, oh, what should I collect? You know, everything's so expensive right now. I always say, go for the stuff that's not super crazy, because people aren't really looking at it. Level X's, Prime cards, they're all going to get to the point where they'll be the next Gold Stars. They'll be the next Shinings. They'll be the next, like, cards that are going to be in the same range that some of these cards are from 20 years ago today.
Yeah. No, you're right. And, I mean, it's never a wrong idea to go in and look at the population reports. I mean, the proof is in the population reports. Those cards will, when somebody sees a low pop, they're going to start looking into those cards because, obviously, I mean, unless this PSA where they're back behind, we talked this about for the podcast, you know, they're behind like 6 months. I mean, unless those reports have all these cards that we didn't expect to add to the population report, but I doubt it, you know? I mean, these cards are eventually going to rise because the population reports are so low, and they're low for a reason. Unless somebody's hoarding all these cards and is just going to send them in a mass. I mean,
you never know. Someone can just randomly list 40 boxes one day, and the price is going to go down. But again, it doesn't really matter because over time the prices will go back up. Just poking fun in your chat mentioned the Topps Ghost Rare Lugia. Like the other funny thing is more than just, you know, the trading card game. You know, you got the Topps card. There's like a Lugia that came out in the 2000 Topps set. That it's like a Ghost Rare. It's like a really nice little foil. There were 6 cards inside the set that you could get 1 Ghost Rare per box. And if you happen to get the Lugia, that Lugia is like one of the most beautiful and rarest Lugias in existence.
That's awesome.
And because of the conditions of the cards, most of them were awful because like they stick. So like, I think the best grade that exists, there's like a PSA 9, there's like 2 PSA 8s, and people are asking for like thousands of dollars for both of them. But the funny thing to me is a lot of times I look at myself thinking like, man, I want to buy this card. Like I was trying to buy a Charizard versus Lugia Meiji card, and the price was like in the thousands. And I'm like, why is this WotC level? Like, to me, it's always kind of weird looking at cards like the Ghost Rare Lugia or like the Charizard versus Lugia card, and then like before you're thinking about buying it, but it's like, I could spend 10 grand on this, but I could also buy, you know, a first edition card, or I could buy like PSA 9 Charizard or something else. Like it's funny seeing the stuff outside of TCG also catching up in regards to price.
I got something to show you. I don't know if you've seen this picture. I'm sure somebody tried sending it to you, and I'm gonna try to put it up here. But this guy that follows me here on YouTube is an awesome subscriber. He sent me this.
Oh yeah, I was bidding on that.
Oh, were you?
I was bidding on that. Well, so they wanted 10 grand, and the only reason why me and Rev actually, because Rev called the seller, the reason why he backed out is it felt kind of sketchy at first because like it seemed legit, but the back of the sheet was blank. So it's a test sheet, you know. It's not going to buy a sheet and then cut it yourself. Like, that's not how it works. But like, because the back was blank, we're all like, you know, you can never trust it. On top of that, seller had like, they didn't have like full 100% feedback.
Yeah.
We just kind of said whatever about it. And then I saw it sell. I'm like, somebody bought it, and then I got tagged to that as well. That sheet is beautiful.
Yo,
that sheet is beautiful.
I know. He in that Instagram post on DCA Gamer, he puts it up against the sun, and it's almost blinding. Right?
Yeah.
The way it shines. I mean, that is a beautiful, beautiful sheet. I mean, I would
It really makes you wonder if they could just like cut it up, and just get them all graded as just test prints.
Yeah. No, dude, that's absolutely insane. And you know, you were talking about references too and buying sellers, and I wanted to touch on that earlier, but I'll bring it up now. When you're buying vintage product and whatnot, definitely ask people for references, right? I mean, that's super important, especially when you're planning on spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. It's a good thing to look on social media and make posts and ask people, or ask the person, the seller too, for references of people that are legitimate in the community buying and selling. That way you don't get a fake box like we just saw the other day happen, right? I mean, it's super important to understand who the seller may or may not be.
Yeah, and something that's also important to point out is like, one thing I will say is a lot of people were knocking that specific seller because he didn't know that the box is fake. I've seen a lot of really good looking fake boxes. For example, about an hour ago, my friend FaceTimed me. Big shout out to Ruxin. I don't know if he wants people to know, but he just bought a specific promo box. He opened it. It had a real legit seal. And inside the promo box, which should have been 3 cards, they weren't there. So somebody either faked it, or for some reason that was like that 1 in a million chance where when they packaged it up, it just didn't come with the cards, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And on top of that, in the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing a lot of videos pop up on Instagram where people will open like jungle boxes, gym heroes, base boxes, and they're all fake because they're sealed so well. They even have the replicating the Wizards logo as well now. It's so easy to fake stuff nowadays, and no matter how much experience you have, it could happen to anybody. You know, the big famous example was like a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago now, a year ago, when TCA opened his box and it was resealed. Yeah. To be fair, that box is a bit easier to fake just due to the fact that the original one just didn't have the WotC logos on the shrink wrap. And obviously, the only reason why he opened to verify the first was because he did know something. So if you really like authenticate a box, you could tell if it's fake or not. Like it just takes a lot of work. But there's a lot of really good looking fakes out there, and that's why it's always like I personally will never buy from somebody unless I know they're verified. But even like in the past week, I think it was a TCG collector on Instagram that sold a fake box to somebody not knowing it was fake. Like even if it's someone who has a verified source, you never know where it came from. That's why it's always important to go through all your stuff. I literally went to all my boxes and I'm like, oh, let me make sure this is legit, this is legit, this is legit. Everybody's been hitting me up in the past couple weeks, like, who were like, hey, you want to buy this box? I'm like, even the newer stuff, I'm like, you know what? I'd rather not.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? I mean, that's
what the Golden Warthog just said. The Wizards logo is a bit thicker on the fake boxes, and that's something to like really look at. But again, who's to stop them from perfecting that? Like,
that's what I was going to say. Better. Yeah, I mean, the equipment right now is getting better and better and better, and it's obtainable, right? A lot of people can get these sealable pieces of equipment that'll make a box look super legit, you know? I mean, things have been faked since before Pokemon, before everything else, and people have found a way to master it to almost fool the everyday collector or buyer, whatever the case would be. And I mean, we're in a time right now where it's very easy to fake something or reseal something, and no matter how many times you check it through and through, sometimes you can be in the wrong. And it's just one of those things that absolutely sucks. And I also had here a question for you too there, Rhyme. Pogo asked if you think that Topps cards are going to blow up.
Yes and no. And this is my big problem. This is the reason why I refuse to kind of spend a lot on certain Topps cards or just outside of TCG era kind of cards. They're all low pop, and as a fan of a specific Pokemon, you'll want them. But the thing is like, I feel like some of the prices are so ridiculous that I can't justify spending WotC era money on cards that aren't WotC cards. Like I said, the only reason why I refuse to buy one of the first appearance Lugias is because if I'm going to spend that much, I might as well just buy something that's like, you know, a PSA 9 Charizard, you know, a Chalice Charizard or something like that. But at the same time, with how the hobby has been getting, the more people you get in here, especially ones that have money, and if they want it, if you want their specific card, they will buy it and they will drop the prices for it. So like, it varies from case to case. Like, one of the cards that I've been looking for the most has been this Japanese card as Bandai Charizard card. It's Drama Sugimori, and it's like one of the best Charizard arts of all time. I have a PSA 9 of it. And I remember I was going to buy a 10 back about, I want to say a month and a half ago for $1,500. And I was looking at it, I'm like, that's too much. It's not a WotC card. Why would I do that? And now that card sold for like $7,000 on PWCC the other day. I'm like, what is happening? I mean, so it honestly varies. If it's a Charizard or, you know, the iconic Pokemon, sure. But like, if there's something that, you know, like let's say a Raichu or Diglett, I don't think I can justify it. Nor do I think it's going to explode over time. I mean, that's how it is in the TCG as well. You know, people all want their Charizards and stuff. No one really wants Digletts. Yeah,
you are not lying. I mean, I'm sure the Diglett fans that are in here right now are just going to freaking savage your DMs with upsetness. But you know, it is what it is. But
my problem with Topps cards is they're all in such poor shape. That, like I said, even when you open a pack, they're stuck together. You literally are ripping off paint when you like open the pack. If PSA 10s were more prevalent, I would be more into Topps cards. But because they're not as rare or they're not as possible to get, I kind of don't care about them as much. Yeah. But if you happen to get that one Holy Grail Topps cards at 10, it's going to be kind of iconic.
Yeah, I don't even remember opening up Topps cards as a kid, to be honest. I don't even remember if they stuck together when you originally first cracked open a box, like when they first came out.
They did. Because I had one of my biggest memories as a kid is I remember I was at, I want to say GameStop with my dad, and I saw that they had these weird Pokemon packs, and I'm like, these are $2. You know, Pokemon packs back then used to be like $4, $5, $6.
Yeah.
And I saw this for $2. I'm like, why is this $2? As a kid, I couldn't comprehend that it wasn't base set. It was just different like pack art, and I'm like, yo, Dad, let me get this, and he bought me a pack. And out of that pack, I pulled. Well, first of all, I opened the pack. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is not the Pokemon TCG.
Yeah.
I pulled the Charizard. And that was my Charizard moment as a kid. I got so excited. I yelled. I brought that Charizard to school the next day, and nobody even like gave me a look. They were just like, "Oh, that's I mean, that's not the Charizard we won." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a Charizard." Yeah, we don't care. Nobody cared about those pop cards back then. But I do remember opening that as a kid, and it definitely did stick together.
Yeah.
It definitely stuck together.
Well, that answered my question. And speaking of a kid too, like, I mean, that's why some of the cards are so expensive right now, because as a kid, a lot of us didn't know the value in some of the cards. We were just, just buying up the cards and doing whatever with them and just playing with them, essentially, right? I mean, I was
speak for yourself. I'll never forget. Everybody in my school, the 4 kids that had that Charizard running around, this is a $35 card. Like, I remember specifically that number. And I remember even looking back at it, the first edition version of that card was $300. And I remember for my birthday one time, I was like, you know what? I don't care about anything else. I want a first edition Charizard. My parents just looked at me and just laughed. Like, I'm like, no, I want a Charizard. Like, we're not buying you a card for $300. Like, get the fuck out of here. But no, I remember those prices specifically. Like for Charizard, that number was famous. Everything else, whatever. You know, if it's a hollow, it's a binder card.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Dude, I remember like from vintage year was when they were coming out with the Lunchables. Do you remember the Lunchables? And they had the Pokemon cards on the back.
Yep.
And you can actually physically cut out those cards. Dude, I wonder what a Lunchable like that, if there's still, I mean, obviously the food in there is gonna be terrible, but I've got to see. I want to see on eBay too eventually. Maybe I'll do it after the cast. See if those are still available out there. Just the box themselves. I mean, those are cool. I remember as a kid sitting there with some scissors and cutting them all out and collecting those and making trades with my Lunchables cardboard pieces that I cut out.
Someone's gonna want it. I mean, the thing is like nostalgia sells, and like when we become adults, we forget about all that shit. You know, when you're a kid, it's simple. You know, it's all about. For me, it was all about Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and video games. And once you become an adult, it's like now you're in the working world. You don't have time for this stuff. That's what we're taught to forget about the things that we love. So when you finally come across that one thing that was so special to you, and you remember those moments, you fall back in. Nostalgia sells. That's why these prices are so ridiculous today, because all the people that have been working their entire life, and once who are in the millions, of course, as far as being millionaires, they're gonna want this stuff. You know, Logic never had a chance. Logic could never even get a pack when he was a kid. You know, he said he used to steal cards. That's how he got Pokemon cards as a kid. So, you know, when he rediscovered Pokemon recently, he was like, I want a Charizard. Now, I remember the exact conversation that we had. So, I've been trying to get into Pokemon for the past, like, 3 years, you know. Every time I would get a box, I'm like, yo, just so you know, you should get one of these boxes or 10, because this Neo Destiny box I just got, it was $3,000. You can get a couple of these. Nah, I don't need it. I'm like, trust me, I don't got it. A couple months later, yo, this is a $20,000 box now. You sure you don't want to get these? Like, I don't want it. And then I remember the most famous one was a first edition box sold for $60,000, and now I'm like, Bob, you want to get one of these? He goes, $50,000 for cards? Are you high? I'm like, trust me, you want to get one of these boxes. Only so little exist. I know you got the money. Just do it. He goes, maybe. And then I hit him up 2 weeks later. I'm like, yo, Logan Paul just bought one for $200,000. He goes, what? All right, give me a list of what to buy. And I got him to buy a. Well, first of all, I was like, all right, let's start low. We'll get you a base box for like $5,000. You know, maybe get a couple so you can open them yourself. You know, relive your childhood. He goes, no, about the best. What's the best? I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I guess Neo Destiny. You know, a couple. He goes, give me both of those. I'm like, all right. So we got him a Neo Destiny box. He got the box. The second he held it, he was like, it's like he felt the power. And again, every collector knows when you hold that collectible in your hand, you have it when you own it.
That makes a difference.
Like the aura of it, you feel the aura. And the second he got the Neo Destiny box, he goes, yo, what else? I'm like, you should just do base box, you know? I'm trying to think. So you got Neo Destiny. Yeah, so you got Neo Destiny, you got a base box. And one day, he was like, I'm going to open his base box. I'm like, no, don't do it. If you want something, just buy Champion's Path. And he buys 10 boxes. And in the same morning, he pulls 2 2 rainbow rares and a shiny Charizard. He pulls one, FaceTimes me, and then pulls the other 2 literally in front of me. I'm like, bro, 10 boxes. I'm like so many boxes deep right now.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you know what? I want to open my base box. I'm like, no, maybe we should. He goes, I'll just buy another one. It's fine. I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, sure. So he opens the box. 4th pack in, he pulls the Charizard.
Yo.
And at that point, it's just energy, just emanate. Like, it's just, you're absorbing it.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, I want a PSA 10. I'm like, okay, we can get you a PSA 10. They're like $10,000. He goes, no, I want the best one. I'm like, I don't want the best one. The best one's like $100,000 right now. He goes, I don't care. Find me the best one. I'm like, I mean, I can look, but I don't know how well it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And ironically, that same week, the iconic auction sale was up there. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if you're serious, but I did find one. It's on sale. It's probably going to end at a lot. He goes, okay, bet, I want it. I'm like, He goes, what would you do? I'm like, if I had your money, I would have already bought a long time ago. He goes, all right, that's all I need to hear. So he goes, how much should I bid on this? I'm like, I will just bid 150. It's not going to go above 150. He bids it and it immediately jumps. It like somebody had already outbid him. And I'm like, he goes, what should I do? I'm like, I don't know. I guess bid 180, see what happens. So you bid 180. And you know how it works. The premium, it's like 226 at the end because that's how they work. But he bought that card and then he goes, I need more. Give me 2 more boxes. Give me 2 Team Rockets and give me a Shadowless box. I'm like, all right, calm down. First and foremost, if you're gonna do all that, you have to promise me not to open the Shadowless box. Please do not open the Shadowless box. He goes, all right, because end of the day, I was trying to get him into the collectible scene just so you can have something and just kind of watch it grow. Because look, I know a lot of collectors don't like numbers being tossed around for Pokemon, but as a collector, it's the coolest shit in the world when you buy something or you own something and you watch it grow. It's like 100%. It's dope. Like, I saw a comment that was left on my video the other day criticizing YouTubers from doing that. I'm like, what you have to understand is this is a collector. It's the coolest thing in the world. One owning that specific product, but 2 also seeing how much it grows. Like I bought my Neo Destiny box for $3,000 and seeing how much it is worth today is ridiculous. I got my base box because I traded a PSA 7 first edition Shadowless card for it. 2 years ago. At the time they're about the same value, and then see how much it's cool seeing that growth. But as far as logic, he just basically relived all of our childhood dreams, all in the same week.
Yo,
he pulled the new Charizard, he pulled the original Charizard, and he bought the first edition. And then he got 2 more boxes. He opened those boxes I mentioned earlier. First box was kind of a dud, but then he pulled 3 Charizards back to back in the second box, and then he opened a Team Rocket box as well. And all he got out of it was a Blastoise. Didn't even get a Dragonite, but he did get a Raichu. And I remember I was just sitting there thinking, like, why the fuck did we not record this?
That was the next question, man. Because you guys posted a picture of him holding up 3 Charizards in that Discord chat, right? Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, there's a picture out there, so I'm assuming that there's a video out there, and it's eventually going to drop.
No, that was my screenshot of FaceTime. And it's funny going into it because I was like, are you sure you want to record this? He goes, nah, this is all, we're just gonna live in the moment, because he's a very much of a live in the moment kind of guy. And I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right. I'm like, but what if you pull some fire? Don't you want to see that video, that excitement? I mean, you saw the first Charizard pull. He goes, it's fine. But none of us. I mean, look, if you pull the Charizard, which we kind of expected is whatever, but we watched in a single box.
That's nuts. Back to back.
As well as a Blastoise and a Venusaur and Mewtwo. I'm like, what?
That's wild. Especially, I mean, from boxes that, I mean, it doesn't make sense from one box. From one box to be pulling that kind of a firepower. And like you said, you mentioned earlier, I mean, they were all in good condition, right? Like, they were all potential 9s, 10s, like in that realm, nothing less.
At least 2 of them are going to be 10. Actually, it's funny. Gary, King Pokemon, he opened a first edition box a long time ago, and he also pulled 3 Charizards out of it, and they're all grade 10s.
That's wild. Wait, first edition box?
First edition, yeah.
Wow, dude, that guy. I mean, Gary. I mean, I've talked to him, and I mean, his first edition collection is something to really, at this point, really appreciate, right? I mean, he's a one of a kind collector. You're not going to find another collector like Gary.
I just love the fact that he went on Pawn Stars and his asking price was $500,000 a couple years ago, and now that price is comical. Add another 0, and that's the value today. Like, and the funny thing is he never planned on selling it when he went to the show. I think it was just kind of show off the collection, put some spotlight on the Pokemon.
Yeah.
But like again, Pokemon always goes up. That's why every time people are like, "Why are you?" The funny thing is when Logic bought that card, I saw so many idiots who are like, "Can't believe you would waste his money like that." I'm like, "That no, it's an investment."
Yeah.
You realize him hitting buy now on that auction or purchase or whatever it said on the actual button. The second he checked out, the car was already worth more.
Yeah.
You buy a car, the second you drive out the lot, it's depreciating. The second you buy a Pokemon card or any collectible, the price went up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's one less card that exists. Because it's one less card that exists in circulation that you can buy.
Exactly. And I'm sure that Logic does not plan on ever probably selling that. You know, I mean, that's something he's probably just going to keep. I mean, you legitimately kind of in the beginning kind of forced it down his mind to start getting back into Pokemon, but once he finally got that little nectar, that little sweet taste of Pokemon, I mean, he hasn't looked back since, it seems like.
Yeah, no, it's one thing that, you know, I've known this man since for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
And I have never seen him this excited over a thing. And he's been excited over a lot of things over the course of, you know, the last decade of, I mean, from stuff like being into something as simple as Rubik's Cubes to manga and video games. Yeah. This is the most excited I've seen him. And again, this is something that a lot of us forgot about. That first time you open a pack, you crack open a pack, and not only do you pull a hollow, but you pull the hollow you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That you can't replicate that excitement, that feeling.
No, it's euphoric, 100%. It's a euphoric feeling. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that are going into the Pokemon community right now that were not inside, I mean, they're searching for that as well. And once again, like previously mentioned earlier, that's kind of why Evolution is blowing up, right? Because a lot of the people that are searching for that, you know, were Logan, for example, Logan Paul, let's throw his name out there, followers, and they were like, oh yeah, I remember this Pokemon card. Well, then they're jumping into the price and like, how can I get a base set box like him? Well, obviously they see that the price is not affordable. Then they're doing their own diligent research, and they find that, oh, well, there's a Holo Charizard in Evolutions. Okay,
that's the same art.
Yeah, why don't I, that's the best next thing, why don't I just start buying up, and next thing you know, Evolution is popping off the shelves, right? And that price is going up and up and up, and sellers see that, so like, this is a perfect time to kind of drive the price up 200% instantly, right? And see if there's any buyers, and as long as there's a couple buyers, there's going to be more buyers, and now we see Evolutions, you know, and it's one of those sets I've said, like, okay, people are telling me right now that Evolutions will potentially, they're done printing it, that it's not in stock anymore. I mean, it's still a modern set. It's not out of the realm for Pokemon to potentially put that back out there.
I bought this a month ago for I think $70 because I plan on doing an opening, and I forgot about it because I put it next to my shelf, and there's stuff stacked up top of it. So I forgot about this, and now I'm happy I didn't open it, but I got like 3 of these left. Rev was telling me for months, like, bro, you need to get some cases because it's gonna blow up. And I'm like, I agree, but I just don't want to. I mean, I personally just don't care about it. Like, I'm not in this to, you know, for the profit. I'm not gonna stock up a bunch of Evolution boxes, sell them back later to 10x price. You know, I just like having this. You know, I have 3 of these. I'm never gonna sell them. If I ever get the itch to open base set, I'm just gonna open one of these and I'm gonna get my fix out of it. But
yeah, big facts.
But I will say this: if you're ever gonna look into modern day Pokemon, get this. It's $500 now, but it's 100% worth it.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I agree. I mean, the way I'm seeing it, I mean, at first I was completely against it. I was like, listen, Pokemon's gonna go ahead and reprint this, and you know, I still have that feeling, that small percentage that it's not out of Pokemon's realm to do something like that. It wouldn't be the smartest thing for them to do, but I mean, money talks, right? And if they really
But what we can see is we'll probably see the same situation that we saw with Dragon Majesty and Shining Legends of Walgreens. I'm sure there's going to be just sets that are just sitting in the back of a warehouse somewhere that, you know, Walgreens even will find and just, you know, unload.
Yeah.
It could happen. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if you want to look at Evolutions from an investment standpoint, go for it. But don't expect this to, like, explode now. Maybe, 10 years from now, these might. Because the thing is a lot of people today that grew up with this will view this as base set in 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on an investment standpoint for 10 plus years. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But, I mean, a lot of people are willing to pay that $400 price tag right now just to crack it open. And you got to think, and, you know, my buddy Yizzy and Nat Shivam, they did a tea time together, and they brought up this topic. And Nat Shivam actually made a really good point. He made a point and that said, if you look at the population report right now, there's only a 3% 3% PSA 10 ratio compared to 9s, 8s, and all the other ones that are out there because the print was so bad, right? So if you divide that into 3%, and I wish I knew the math off the top of my head right now, but if you're buying a box for $500 essentially, right? You would have to, if you opened 100 evolution boxes, you would only essentially get 3 potential PSA 10 Charizard. That's if every one of those 100 boxes had a holographic Charizard in it, right?
Yeah.
You would essentially get 3 potential PSA 10s if those if those boxes each had a Charizard in it, which equates to 500 times. Let me do some quick math here. 500 times 100. We're looking at what? $500. We're looking at $50,000. You'd have to spend $50,000 to potentially get 3 PSA 10 Charizards. That's outrageous. So to buy these $500 boxes right now and to potentially get a Charizard is not reasonable. It's reasonable if you want to keep it sealed and hold on to it for 10 years as that kind of product. But to get, I mean, that's that's the way I look at it from that kind of a standpoint.
That's why sometimes I'll just buy a 10. I wanted to. So I used to hunt for Gold Star Charizard, and not by literally hunt, but buying packs. Every time one popped up, I would buy it. It used to be like $500, $600, and that was still expensive back in the day. And every single time I bought one, it came back a 9. Yeah. And then I realized, okay, so I have 5 9s right now. If I sell them right now for the 9 price, I can probably get like $4 or $5 grand for it. Oh, look, a PSA 10, $4,000. I'm gonna buy a 10. Like, that's why sometimes it is smart to just buy the 10 of the chase card that you're looking for and just bite the bullet. Yeah. I bought the hyper rare Rainbow Charizard for $500 when it first came out because one, I wanted to just have it, so I don't have to be as pressured to pull it. Yeah. And 2, I figured, okay, I'm probably going to spend this much on just packs alone. I might as well, just have the card at least. And by the way, now I've spent maybe 3 times the value of a Charizard, the Rainbow Charizard. I haven't pulled it yet. Yeah. So, but the thing is there's no feeling like pulling the card you're looking for. So, like, a lot of people might just buy evolutions just to open, just to get that experience. They're not necessarily looking for a 10. They're looking for that feeling of pulling that Charizard. I had 3 friends in the past week that aren't into Pokemon like that pull that Charizard. Shady pulled one on stream. My homie Bird pulled one just off camera because he wanted to just open cards. And another one pulled one. It's just seeing that pop up is, again, it's a very, very euphoric feeling, and that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
If you're lucky enough and it to be in a 10, that's another W.
Yeah, you're not lying. And like I said, I mean, even if you have those cards, you brought it up earlier, like you drive a car off a lot, it depreciates in value, but like when it comes to Pokemon, it's going to increase. And those people that are like, oh, well, like you mentioned earlier, like it's not about the numbers, it's not about price gain, but Pokemon has always been from the beginning about numbers and collectability and how much your card is worth, right? That's what Pokemon was brought into, really. Like, how many shops do you remember as a kid, like in the mall, that had Pokemon cards and people were selling it and people were trying to buy, sell, trade? Like, Pokemon is technically really a big collectability standpoint of is about money, right? What's your card worth? What do you have at the time? Like you said, people walk around school, $35 Charizard. Like, that's what it's always been about. You want to see your cards rise in value. You want to see that you have a great chase card that you really appreciate. Also gain value. It's part of that great feeling of just enjoying price gain.
That alone is why it's funny to me when people get mad at people who are just tossing numbers around. I'm like, you realize it's literally always been like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, maybe they might have not noticed, but like I said, I personally, my biggest memories is always watching people running around in school. $35 for this card. Yeah. And, when you're like 8, $35 is like having $1 million. Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, agreed.
It's always been there. It's always been there.
Yeah, I mean, can you think of a collectible right now in today's market that's not about money or people don't add value to it? I really can't think of anything. I mean,
I sealed games behind me. Yeah, like I mean, every collectible
everything
is money. Yeah, like every single collectible. Even these Dragon Ball figures, which were super popular a couple years ago, were about like, oh yeah, this is worth like $200 now. Like, and now no one really cares about it because they're like super print them out. Like, yeah, collectibles are collectibles because it's limited. You love what it is, and there is a value behind it because that's the reason why you justify the purchase.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's always been about value, and it's still going to be. Now, we may not agree with some values, especially in the modern day stuff. I mean, that's always going to be a debate, and it's going to be a debate as long as Pokemon exists. It's always going to be a debate about what should be at this price at what point in time. But yeah, I mean, collectible is all about value, not necessarily just Pokemon. Anything you collect is always going to be worth some kind of value and have a big part into why somebody is actually looking for that specific item. And it's always the price always hangs out next to that product.
Someone in chat said, Connor, the value of Pogs didn't really hold up. But that's the thing. Any day, people can just, get over it. Teeny babies. Is that what they're called? Teeny babies?
Yeah.
They were
babies,
huge.
yeah.
Or Beanie Babies, whatever. They were massive.
Yeah, Cabbage Patch Kids?
Now, Cabbage Patch Kids, Pogs. This, all these trends can end. But the key here is none of those trends were anywhere as close to how iconic Pokemon is.
Yeah.
The reason why I've been saying this for years. Pokemon is going to surpass Magic, and Magic value is already ridiculous. Not everybody grew up with Magic, but the people that grew up with Magic, they knew how valuable the cards are. Everybody grew up with Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Everybody. Mm-hmm. Literally everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody grew up with like Dragon Ball. Like there's a couple iconic things that we grew up with as kids that are still prevalent today. Yu-Gi-Oh still exists. Dragon Ball still exists. Pokemon still exists. A lot of these things still exist. Yeah. And because of the impact of these things, that's why I feel like they're a lot more safer. Now, granted, 50 years from now, maybe people will stop caring about Pokemon.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's hard to justify that even as a prediction, just due to the fact that with every release, Pokemon is still going stronger than ever.
Yeah.
It's like a rite of passage right now. You have kids, and the first thing you do is you get them in Pokemon. You give them those 3 Pokeballs and say, pick one.
Facts.
Pick one.
Yeah. You're not lying. I mean, me and you having this conversation right now. Well, I mean, King Pokemon back when Pokemon first, Gary, when Pokemon first was introduced, I mean, I'm sure he was having these conversations with some of the guys, the OGs back when they were trying to promote this stuff, right? They're like, hey, well, I mean, this may be big 20 years from now, but who knows? Maybe it won't. But they stuck with it. They kept up with it. And look at their massive collections now. I mean, look what King Pokemon has. It's ridiculous. I mean, he legitimately has a lot. Let's just put a lot. I've talked about some of the stuff in his collection, and let's just say it's very impressive. And, I mean, they had this conversation just like me and you're having with people back in 1999 of what it may or may not be. And, it still lasted to this day. It had its downfalls.
Toxic Crow Gaming says, cough, Digimon, cough. To be fair, Digimon TCG was just never interesting. I remember as a kid, I tried to get into TCG once because I feel like I had to because I was already into Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! But the first time I got Digimon cards, I'm like, why do I have these?
Yeah.
like when you hold the Pokemon card versus any other TCG, there's a different feeling with it.
Yeah.
Even with the Dragon Ball Super cards today, granted they're a lot more exciting than they were with the original cards. Like, there is a specific feeling that certain TCGs capture, and Digimon just could not, for the life, figure out how to capture people. Digimon was cool, but Digimon will always be the clone to Pokemon. It was like the competitor to Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's like the
100%.
Walmart to Target, the Xbox to PlayStation. Like, yeah, it's cool. A lot of people like it, but it's not as long-lasting and impactful. Yeah. Like, you give a kid a choice between Agumon and Charizard, what are they going to pick?
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, I enjoyed watching the anime. I watched as a kid. I still remember the beginning. Digital monsters, I remember all that.
The one thing awesome. Digimon did right that the anime or that Pokemon could not do was the anime.
Yeah.
The Digimon anime were really, really good.
It was good. It was a good watch. I mean, I remember waking up in the mornings on the weekend and watching some Digimon. Like, that was the ish, Mm-hmm. That was all what it was all about. Dude, I got something to show you. And these are available now. And I did a whole spiel. Like, I did a live stream. And I think I'm not sponsored by them by any means. But I brought up like a million times. And I think they're actually really cool. What do you know about those right there?
Dunkaroos.
Dunkaroos.
What year is it? Yeah, I heard that they came back. So that's the modern releases.
I've been meaning to eat these and open them and eat these. But like, it's kind of like one of those nostalgic things. I just see it on my desk. I'm like, oh yeah, like I meant to eat these. But like, I'm kind of afraid to open it because I feel like I'm going to go to 7-Eleven or whatever, and they're not going to be there anymore. I'm like, dang. Like, now I just ate my Dunkaroos. Now I just don't have this weird, sealed box.
Nostalgia sells, and if the nostalgia is strong enough, they will keep selling those. But I definitely remember those as a kid.
Oh, dude, for sure. Just getting the sugar rush off of it in general was absolute.
So much of our childhood come back today. The thing that blew my mind the other day is they're bringing back Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up when Saved by the Bell was like the show because I think it's like from the 80s, whatever. But Saved by the Bell was always on in the mornings when I would go to school. It was always on. They always on repeat. And they're bringing that show back with the original cast, but like a continuation of it. Zach Morris is president, and AC Slater, he works at the school, something like that. Like, seeing so much stuff come back, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it.
Yeah, dude. You're like, I mean, they brought back Full House, about a year and a half ago now, Two House. It's called like Fuller House now. And they brought a lot of the cast from that. So I mean, yeah, a lot of this stuff is coming back because that's what people are demanding.
Yeah.
I mean, life was so simple then, right? I mean, I was a kid, but life was definitely simple for me. I was just a kid.
Yeah.
But life was simple then for us, and with things going on in life, people want to kind of go back to the simpler times. We got pandemic, COVID going around. We got a bunch of crazy stuff happening, in the political wars, and we got crazy stuff happening overseas, and we got racial issue going on in the world, and people are like, I want to be done with this. Let's go back to a simpler time and enjoying the finer things that we did, when it was
That's
easy.
why some of the stuff that we grew up with is cool to me, because like regardless of the opinions or political backgrounds or what race you are, it didn't matter. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we all loved Dragon Ball. We all loved Pokemon. Like we all love this stuff. Like there's a lot of things that we'll disagree with as people, but we all are tied with these things that we grew up with, and that's why it's more important now than ever before, because this is what brings us together.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if you talk to just people in the Pokemon community in general, I mean, it's just such a relatable thing, right? And it's always 9 times out of 10 having a conversation, even when you disagree with somebody about Pokemon, and whatever the topic may be about. It's usually like one of those arguments that's like very nice, It's just a nice off between each other. Like you want to argue about something, but it's actually a pleasant conversation there in the end. And then you basically shake hands, say, thank you very much. That was great. And you're going to walk off with your opinion. The other person's going to walk off with their opinion. But in the end, you're still happy because you were talking about Pokemon and you were just, it wasn't anything like heated where people were just pissed off at each other. It's just one of those things that just brings people together in a weird way. And Pokemon just happened to capitalize that since 1999 up until 2020, coming into 21. And I don't see it slowing down, especially with the, we could talk market all day, but it seems like more and more people are flooding in, which is what's increasing the market. And who knows when it's going to stop, but I'm down for it, as a content creator, as a Pokemon fanatic, as everything else. Like, this is awesome. Every part of this that's going on right now is essentially awesome.
Yeah, and it's going to keep going up, and that's like my point. It's like, like it's so. It's just crazy thinking that it's just going to slow down or the bubble's going to burst. I think it's just going to keep going. And again, with every crash that we'll go through, which we will, it's just going to like fix itself over time. Yeah.
No, you're right. And you know what, too? Like, I'm going to Kohl's now, and I mean, obviously, I wear the weirdest shirts in the world. It's just my thing. Like, I don't like normalism in shirts. I like to just kind of show off what I like, But I'm going to like Kohl's and Target, and I'm seeing Cartoon Network stuff. I'm seeing Rugrats. I'm seeing Nick. I'm seeing N64. I'm seeing NES. Like all these shirts being made, and I don't know about other people out there, but I'm buying them up. Like it's like that speaks to me. That's my personality. That's what I want to wear. And we just see nostalgia coming back slowly but surely, just with everything in general. And Pokemon is basically leading the parade. I mean, they're leading the parade. They're top in sales. They're whatever billion-dollar company they are. They're above Star Wars. They're above all this other stuff. I mean, Star Wars is an older generation, right? And the people that are really in our age group right now, 30 to about, even younger than that, 20 to about 35, I mean, they really are experiencing that 1999 vibes, which is why Pokemon is above the Star Wars, the Cabbage Patches, the Beanie Babies, the whatever else in collectability, the Marvel even, all that stuff. It's just Pokemon triumphs them all because that's what people grew up with, right, in our age group.
I just bought a lightsaber from Disneyland. It's funny.
Do what?
I just bought a lightsaber from Disneyland. It's funny you mentioned
Dude, I saw that, by the way, on your Instagram post.
Yeah, I have a couple in the back. They're actually really, really cool. They're metal, and they're like $150 to $200. And obviously, if you get them on eBay, they're like twice the price. But like, they opened the shop a couple weeks ago online, and they listed the Obi-Wan lightsaber. I'm like, I need this. And it just arrived yesterday. If you're looking for lightsabers, I recommend the Galaxy Edge lightsabers. They're dope.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to look into it. How much you say you pay for it? $200?
Like $200. Yeah. Well, I think so. The important part is, I don't know if you can see it. This little pipe right there. That's the blade. The blade is $80, but then the handles are like $150. But once you have a blade, you don't need several blades. So once you have one of those, you can just keep getting the handles for like $150 each.
That's legitimate. I mean, I remember buying up the lightsabers when I was a kid. Well, not me buying it, like begging my mom and dad to buy me one. But like, buying them up and just freaking dueling to the death with those things till they would bend and break and running outside. Like, kids don't even play outside anymore. I know this is outside of Pokemon, but like, kids don't even play outside anymore, right? Like, everybody's kind of inside doing stuff. And I just remember running around like a nut with all this stuff outside and just breaking my foot, cracking my head wide open. I mean, those are true stories that really happened. But like, just having fun outside and being a kid and running around with my damn Pokemon cards in my hand, scratching them all up, wrecking them all to hell. But like, that's what a lot of Pokemon is doing to a lot of these people. It's just bringing back those old memories, just being a kid, going outside and just having fun. A lot of us out here, we work hard jobs. We put food on the table. But in the end, like, we are also trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just have fun, and then people are just
and a lot of people forget that. That's why so many people are miserable.
Yeah.
That's like you get people who just go online and they're just angry at everything. I'm like, did you forget the thing that brought joy in your life? Like, go back to it. Like, let it consume you.
100%. I mean, I'm a firm believer in just being a kid until and until everything turns black. Just be a kid and be yourself and always have fun. It's the most important thing. And even going out to a restaurant and whatnot, like seeing an older couple and they're just still flirting, having fun or whatever, and just being themselves. Like, that's what it's all about, right? We just want to have that nostalgic, that feeling, and never change who you grew up being. And that's, although we forget about it sometimes. I mean, it happens, right? 95% of the people that are back into Pokemon forgot about it. It is what it is. There's only that certain few that's always stuck with it from time in to time out. I mean,
even I forgot. X-Y Evolutions is what brought me back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Rev talks about it. Nate talks about it. Leonhard talks about it. All these bigger guys talk about it too. Like, we fell off and then we came back. But there's a reason we came back. It's just because, I mean, Pokemon is brought back so many amazing memories, and a lot of people in the live stream, the chat, and who are content creators or are not content creators, like, can attest to that and feel the same way.
Yeah.
But
I always say, if you have that one thing that always gave you happiness as a kid, even when you were older, just don't let it go.
Yeah.
There's no reason to. Yeah. Again, we were taught when we were younger, we have to, like, at some point just cut ourselves off from these things because we'll be too young for it or too old for it.
Yeah.
That's incorrect.
Never too old. By the way, I got something that I picked up because I only saw 3 of these. Mind you, I have no idea when it comes to this, so I'm going to use your expertise to go ahead and help me in this journey. But I got 3 of these things.
Okay.
All right. I have no idea what the hits are going to be and if they're going to be any good or not. So as we're talking about stuff, I'm going to just kind of have them in front of me. And if you see something that's worth freaking out over, freak out over me. And I'm just going to freak out just because you're freaking out.
Okay, that's a malicious machination, right?
Yeah, that's Vermilion Blood.
Oh, no, Vermilion Blood. That's a newest set. Yeah.
So is this a good set? Is this what, like, people are looking for right now?
It's okay. So what's interesting about Dragon Ball, I think the Dragon Ball Super card game is going to age really, really well over time because everything is one print.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Just one single print, and like Tournament Power set that came out in 2018. Was not only a single print set, but it was also very, very limited. And if you buy a case, which for a case is 12 boxes, you would only get one of the secret rares, the UI Goku. And that UI Goku is like it's last time I checked, it was $5,000. Yeah. It could be way more now.
Yeah, I'm sure with everything else rising.
And again, the Dragon Ball card game as a kid never hit, but this got everything right. And the beautiful part is the quality is so perfect. So if you open a card, it's going to be a 10.
Yeah? All right, cool. I'm down. All right, hopefully I get something good. Yizzy has a question for you, actually. Who is Rhyme's favorite YouTuber to watch? What's your favorite YouTuber to watch?
Oh, favorite YouTuber? Anybody that does card openings.
Okay.
I think I start my morning every morning off of watching TCA's videos, TCA Gaming.
I think we talked about that last time, right? You say that basically, like, you wake up in the morning and you'll go through some YouTube videos and just watch openings.
Yeah, that's because they're just nice and easy, 10, 15 minutes and just hop in and out.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the other ones are just probably like my friends, like big shout out to C-Reacts, Afro. See what you get. It's coming in the end.
All right,
whatever hit you get.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get anything good. So there's hollow foils in here, I'm assuming too, right?
Yeah, it's the last card.
Okay. All right. So I think I'm almost there. So yeah, I saw there's only 3 left. I'm like, all right, well this has got to be like something like people are getting right now because there's only 3 left. Like,
it's really fun to play too. There's your reverse and the dud.
Oh, not the dud. That's not what I wanted to hear. The reverse is dope though. Boola's baby minion? Like, that's a dope card.
They used to reverses used to be random. You wouldn't always guarantee to get them.
Okay. And
regular rares were holographic. Now, I think they did this one set ago. Now rares are non-hollow, and then you got super rares and stuff like that. But every pack is guaranteed to get a reverse foil.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna try the second one, see if I get anything good. I don't want any more duds.
Just like in Pokemon, the reverses are sometimes way more valuable, anyways.
Okay. So, dude, let's there's something I want to talk about too. Let's talk about your Champions Path story. How's Champions Path been treating you?
I'm done with the set. I am so... Look, again, I didn't expect me to pull the Charizard at all. So the fact that I pulled 3 shinies in the first 100 packs was great. I pulled my first shiny in like the first video. Or I think it was like the second video or something like that. My first box.
Yeah.
Or first case, basically. And then I pulled another one, another ETB box, and then I pulled the shiny Charizard from just like random lots. Like I did really great, but it's been like 900 packs since then, and I have not gotten anything. Yeah. My most recent video, in a batch of 40 packs, I pulled 3 rainbow rares, which again, I pulled a total of 5 rainbow rares out of 1,000 packs. Let's see what's back there. Nothing.
Oh God.
So I pulled 3 rainbow rares, and they were all Gardevoir VMAX. Same video.
Yeah,
now, here's the funny thing. I'm going to spoil it. On my last opening, which should be live in a couple of days, I ended with a rainbow rare.
Mm-hmm.
Gardevoir VMAX. I'm done. I'm so done.
So what are you going to do with all those Gardevoir VMAXs now that you got a smorgasbord of them?
I think I might just get them all graded because, you might as well. But I'm just done with the set. I have 2 ETBs sitting in the corner over there.
Yeah.
I might see. Part of me wants to buy more packs because the thing that I did mention is I've recorded at least 10 videos, but only 3 are uploaded. So that means 7 videos, which were usually 20 to 40 packs each, ended up being so awful where there was nothing good pulled that I'm like, this is not even worth uploading.
Yeah, dude. That's wild, like, man.
At least with Hidden Fates, you were getting shiny cards, which are fun. But literally in this set, all you care about is 1 or 2 Charizards.
Yeah, exactly, right? And which is why Champions Path will basically never hold a candle to Hidden Fates. I mean, the closest thing that I think is going to hold a candle to Hidden Fates is potentially the Shiny Vault 2 that comes out eventually, which I think is going to be, in my personal opinion, Pokemon's release the 25th anniversary for English, right? I mean, that's what it's kind of playing out to be. I mean, I could be wrong, right? But I mean, it's kind of what it seems like. That's been going on here lately. What do you think about Vivid Voltage? Don't be a dud.
I'm excited about the amazing rares.
Yeah,
anytime
same.
you do a new rarity, it looks cool. And on top of that, they picked some good ones. Rayquaza, like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I wish they would have had Lugia as well, but they might have that in the future. I have no idea.
Did you not see the leaks?
Which leaks?
Well, the Lugia is supposed to be an amazing rare.
In Vivid Voltage?
Yeah, no, not in Vivid Voltage. In the next set coming out, they're already releasing with the Shiny Vault 2.0 that Lugia is going to be an amazing rare. I know. I just saw this. I kid you not, like 2 hours before we went on the PokeCast. Yeah,
I see. I was hoping that would happen, and here we are. Where did you see these? I gotta see this.
Dude, I wish I remember. I was scrolling through a feed. Like I said, I sometimes scroll through the Instagram feeds and come across it. But somebody posted it, and if you guys are in here, it was probably one of you guys in the live chat. But I saw it somewhere. Was it Pokemon Legends that sent it to me? It might have been Pokemon Legends because they announced the Ditto. Okay, this might be it from Pokemon. Are you on Pokemon Guardian right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Pokemon Legends that sent it to me. Shout out Pokemon Legends for sending me this amazing information. But
I did see that they leaked the English version of Charizard.
Hold on. So was it Lugia, or did I get convinced? Lugia convinced with Reshiram? I might have got convinced with Reshiram, but there's one. I think Lugia was in the mix too. I could be tripping.
Let me see. I'm on there. I'm here right now.
Okay, Pokemon Legends just say okay, he's in here. He said it's not Lugia, it's Reshiram. But judging by this, all right, my bad. I didn't mean to get you excited. But either way, they're coming out with a more amazing rares, which is cool.
I'm cool with that. I'm down for that.
They got Kyogre here.
I want the staff cards, the new staff cards.
The staff from Vivid Voltage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is they're all like super damaged. They might not even be worth buying. But I want that Charizard on Lugia because the art is amazing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Built-in battle boxes right now are going for a higher price because, I mean, everybody wants that Charizard with the stamp on it, right? I mean, the staff card is going to be that much more expensive.
I bought a case for $350, and I'm like, am I going to get this? I emailed the seller today. I'm like, so when are you going to get these boxes? And his response was, whenever I get them. I'm like, but shouldn't you already have them? Because I'm seeing people get them. Like, you have no information?
Yeah, dude. I think Vivid Voltage is going to be an amazing set. It's going to be awesome. You got the amazing rares. I mean, that's really what I'm in it for. I'm taking a back seat on it just because it kind of went crazy on Champion's Path. So I'm going to take a back seat on Vivid Voltage, but I'm going to open a few packs and hope I can get amazing rare. And if I don't, I'll probably just buy them outright and hopefully get one in good shape and get it graded. Those are going to be awesome cards. I mean, they look good. In Legendary Heartbeat, they looked amazing, and I'm hoping that the quality comes over to the English set as well and looks just as good. Although Japanese, right, like they always kind of, at least in the modern stuff, always have better printing quality than the English cards do. But in a sense, I think it's going to be still great looking cards.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that Vivid Voltage stuff, and I'm super stoked for the Shiny Vault 2.0. I'm already seeing leaks for what I saw. Coughing, I saw Thwacky. These are all baby shinies. We obviously know about the Shiny Charizard VMAX 2.0, right? What else did I see today? I saw another full art, I think. Was it a full art that I saw? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. I saw the Coughing on there. So there's going to be good cards. They're already releasing them. I think we're going to find out in the next few weeks.
So for these amazing rare leaks, is it just those three or will there be more?
For the amazing, that's all I've seen so far. I'm assuming there's going to be more. I mean, they came out with what? There's 6 in Vivid Voltage?
Yeah. So,
I mean, there's got to be more, right?
Yeah, so I assume we're probably going to get a Groudon as well in this set.
Yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I think they're on the right track with amazing rares. I think there's going to be high dollar value cards. They're going to be... I predicted that originally, like coming off raw from the Vivid Voltage set, they're going to be about $50 to $100. I could be wrong with that, but I'm assuming around that price range off initial release, depending on the pop report and how many are getting set to grade in. But I mean, I think a $50 $100 price range is not terrible. Thinking about the amazing rares on initial release, sounds about right. In my own personal opinion. But yeah, dude. So it's gonna be great stuff. I'm excited for Vivid Voltage. I'm not gonna open up a ton, and I don't know what you plan on doing.
I think I'm gonna just probably open my build and battle boxes and then call it probably.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're looking for that chase card, right? For that Charizard with the stamp on it. What's the odds on that though? It was like 1 in every 4, I believe.
Yeah.
1 in every 4
when they did it with evolutions, I think I pulled out of 4. I want to say I pulled 2 Charizards out of 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Golden Wordle said, Rhyme, if you need some loose packs of Champions Pack, hit me up.
I'm so done with Champions Path.
Yeah, I mean, Champions Path, man, it's fun. It's fun trying to hunt the Charizards. I mean, Charizard hunting is always fun in general. It's just, aside from those 2 cards, there's not really anything that's kind of mind-blowing and people get excited for. How many openings have you seen where people pull a hyper rare from that set and they're like, kind of like, oh, okay, you know, I got a hyper rare Dreadnought, that's cool. But, like, they're pretty upset about it, which, like, historically speaking, people don't get upset over secret rares, right?
I mean, it was hyped the first time, you know.
Yeah.
The first time I remember the first time I got the gold card, I was excited, but now after I got the gold card like 10 times, I'm like, okay, I'm just tired of this.
You just legitimately have a stack of trash. I mean, essentially, with your food tin.
Pretty much. I literally have, I mean, you can see it behind me. I have my my USPS boxes, and I got a stack of just bulk over there, and I'm gonna, and then even more behind the fan. Like that's all gonna go off to Troll and Toad in the next couple of days.
Yeah, yeah.
And then maybe when I sell those, I'll probably buy more packs. Who knows? But like right now, I'm just kind of tired of Champions. But I'm over it.
Yeah, I might open a few here tomorrow. I'm gonna do like a Halloween stream tomorrow with Chelsea, so I might open some more Champions Path. But after that, I think I'm gonna call it quits. I love the VMAX Charizard from there. I would love to have it, and I'd love to potentially even get it graded or pull 2 to have one in my binder for my master set. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And I was gonna bring this up too, and Blistering Rage Gaming brought it up. How is it playing Among Us with PewDiePie or Rhymestyle?
He got me thrown off. he killed Pokemon in front of me and then blamed me for it. So I got sent off into space by the biggest YouTuber on the platform. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, dude, I tuned in for that, man, for quite some time, and that was a good stream. That was awesome. A lot of big people in the YouTube community in there hanging out, and it was a blast to watch.
That's something I love about Among Us. It's like, you know, we have our own things that we come up with on the platform. You know,
Yeah.
when you're a Fortnite content creator, or you open up Pokemon packs, or you're a rapper, or you're an athlete, everybody can play Among Us. And I love the different crossovers that we've been getting with this game, because we did one with Ninja about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now we did this one, and also that same crew that we played with yesterday played with Congresswoman AOC.
Mm-hmm.
But like 2 weeks ago. Like, this game has created the craziest crossovers, and that's something I love.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great for that, you know, I mean, just brings all walks of life into it, you know, and everybody kind of enjoys it. You know, it's not really like the gameplay aspect. It's about the communication, just being able to talk to different, you know, and argue with some people about not being the imposter, you know, and just having that interaction with people is what makes the game great. Essentially, sometimes it's not the game itself; it's about the interaction in general that makes something pretty cool. And that was a fun stream to watch. I had a blast watching it. But speaking of stream, you got a stream coming up here soon, don't you? In about what, an hour?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I gotta record a video first, and then I'll probably hop on, maybe an hour and a half ish. But yeah.
Well, if anybody has one last second question, maybe two, maybe we can ask Ryan real quick, and or if you guys want a topic that we bring up real quick, we'll knock that out and we'll call it a Pokecast. So any last seconders out there that want to go ahead and drop something in the chat, you're more than welcome to. I know I've been slacking the chat. Ryan's kind of been holding it down for me.
Like I said, I could talk about this for hours.
Somebody said, Rob, open up your Hidden Fates ETB. That's just not going to happen. You guys
I wouldn't
that
do
last
it.
time.
It's not worth it. I opened my 2 Hidden Fates boxes that were sitting on the corner of my desk.
Yeah,
I've talked about in my videos so many times. I finally opened them. Wasn't even worthy making a video on. I wouldn't do it. I think it's staff promos. So every event that holds the pre-releases, they get one single. I want to say they get a single pack of promos. I think they used to be just one single card, which would vary between 1 of the 4. But I think for Vivid Voltage specifically, I don't know if it's because of COVID or if they just want to start doing this now. They send all 4 in a pack to people. So let's say your comic shop that holds an event, you'll get a single pack of 4. That's how you get it.
Doesn't it go to the professor essentially? Doesn't it go to the professor though? Essentially, that card.
It's supposed to be for the staff. Like literally, that's why it's a staff. It's for. I don't know if Pokemon Company knows that the value for these cards will go up, which is like, I guess, an incentive or reward for people hosting the events, but that's what they're for. That's why they're so limited. You know, the staff Charizard from Evolution sold for like PSA 9 sold for like $6,000 the other day.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it looks good though, right? The Evolution stamps on it is absolute fire. It looks great.
But the thing it's to me, the staff part looks tacky. The only reason why we want staff cards is because they literally printed like something ridiculous, like a couple hundred. Like I don't know what the actual number is, but they're very, very low. Yeah,
very limited. I had a question too, real quick, since you brought up. Well, I kind of brought up Hidden Fates, but are you going to get any of that reprint coming in? Or are you going to try to get your hands on some?
I don't know yet. I'm also kind of over Hidden Fates because just like, you know, with the Charizard chase, I have opened an ungodly amount of those, and I'm sick of it. I saw someone ask about Ghost Rares. I don't know if you saw, but there are 5 new Ghost Rares coming out in March, and one of them is the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, which gives me hope that we might get an English release of Ghost Rare Dark Magician. I don't know how much you know about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Rob, but that's a big deal.
Yeah, not too much. Briefly, what you've told me, and I've watched in some of your videos, trying to catch on a little bit. I mean, you are the one that introduced me to 10,000 Dragon, right? From Battle of Armageddon. And actually, you're the one that inspired me to go ahead and buy some of those packs and actually open them up, which, by the way, have been all duds. I've opened up on Instagram Lives, and I've just been thoroughly disappointed. But
yeah, unlike the Secret Rares in Pokemon,
you pulled it.
The Starlight Rares are ridiculous. It's like 1 in 24 boxes. I don't recommend chasing those.
Isn't there a Ghost Rare in... So I picked up some of these because, like, you know, ever since our podcast last time, I kind of just been buying up Yu-Gi-Oh here and there. But there's a Ghost Rare in here, right?
Yes. And the pull rate for that is a lot better. If you were to get a case, I think it's like 1 per case.
Okay.
I've opened 10 boxes. I pulled 2. But the thing about Ghost Rares that sucks is the print quality is ass.
Oh, yeah?
They somehow figured out how to make worse print quality than Neo Genesis and in 2020. So if you pull a Ghost Rare, it literally looks like someone took a quarter and just went up and down the card.
Oh, God. Yeah, I might open those eventually. I think I might just go on Instagram Live and just crack them open. I also got 2 more of these left. So I'm not really holding out. But I'm not seeing any more first edition stuff out there for Battle of Armageddon. Or Battle of Legends, I should say. Armageddon. So I really don't want to kind of open these. I kind of want to leave them sealed, just because. I mean, I'm just not seeing first. I'm seeing unlimited.
I don't know how well that will age, to be honest. Like, I feel like you might as well just open it.
You might as well just open it?
Yeah, I don't think cards or packs like those will age that well. I mean, the thing about 10,000 Dragon is it's not an iconic monster. The card is iconic because of the 10,000 printed card, and that's what people wanted. But like, it's not no Blue Eyes. It's not a Dark Magician. That's why these Ghost Rares are coming out in March. If they get the print quality right, they will be incredibly sought after. Because in 2017, at the World Championship, they rewarded participants. I don't know if it was participants or the winners. A envelope, and in the envelope you got, I think 2018 they had Dark Magician and Blue Eyes. 2017 you would get Dark Magician Girl, Monster Reborn, and something else. And then I think last year they did Blue Eyes, Alternative Dragon, and Red Eyes. I might got those wrong, but like those are iconic monsters. And with the Ghost Rare rarity, it was a big deal. So the fact that we're potentially getting all those in English now is crazy.
That's wild. So say less. Do I do front card to the back or back card to the front?
I don't know. It varies. So the English prints are all already in the back. On the American prints, the rare card is in the front.
Rare cards in the front. Okay, so let's put the front card to the back. And let's get some 10,000, 10,000, right? 10,000 Dragon?
Yeah, 10,000 Dragon. Okay. Or you can also get Utopia, which is the other one.
Okay. All right.
Imagine you pull it right now. And
that's
dud.
It. That's the rare. I got one more. Yeah, could you imagine?
that was Numeron Network, right?
This one was what? This one? Fossil Fusion?
Yeah, wasn't it? Oh, Fossil Fusion. Then.
Yeah, Fossil Fusion. All right. One more, guys, and if we have one more question, let's ask that, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So, and also, guys, in the chat, if you can, thank Ryan for hanging out with us once again. He's always a pleasure to have on here. Wealth of knowledge, and just a blast to collab with and hang out on the podcast.
Timestamp this because the pack's gonna be 10,000 in a couple of years. I mean, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, you really don't. And I just cracked them wide open, so we're way past that point.
Yeah, but if you get the dragon, what is that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was something else.
Well, it's not something you got excited about. Oh, it's number 692, Heart, Earth, Chaos, Dragon. All right.
Yeah.
So as expected, I didn't think I was gonna have anything crazy in there. My Dragon Ball packs were absolute rough, and so were my Yu-Gi-Oh packs. So it is what it is.
it's part of the game. I mean, when I was opening my Champions Path packs, I wasn't mad. I was disappointed, obviously, but it's part of the game. You know, you're not always gonna pull fire.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Maybe I got a Ghost Rare back there in the other packs I showed you, but I'm gonna open up those Instagram live just because I like to interact live sometimes on Instagram and open something that's typically not Pokemon, just to be a little bit different and just have fun with it. You know what I mean? But
right.
Dude, Rhyme, I know you got that live coming up soon on Twitch, and if you guys want to see more Rhyme, definitely go ahead and check him out on Twitch. They have a blast on there. Him and Dodo, or Dojo, Dodo. It's Dodo, right?
It's Dado.
Dado.
The joke is, so I have two friends, C-Reax and Dado. Every time we go live with a new group, they always call them Dodo and C-Reeks. Every time I hear those two names, it just kills me.
Yo, you're gonna have to clip that and send it to him, because now I feel like a dumbass. But dude, Ron, it was a pleasure, man. And once again, you're welcome anytime to go hang out and talk some Pokemon. We knocked out some vintage stuff, we knocked out some Logic stuff, and we knocked out some modern stuff and some nostalgic stuff, guys. So if you just tuned in the live stream, thanks for hanging out. Welcome, and definitely go ahead and replay. This was a heck of a Pokecast. Rhyme's always a pleasure to have on. And, well, I guess until next time, Rhyme, cover your ears. Rob Mo! Guys, once again, thank you so much. Rhyme, thank you once again, and we'll catch you on the next one.